And breaking news this morning, a group of men wanted after a crime spree around Nashville that sent 2 people to the hospital.
And we're talking about 4 crimes that happened just within a few hours of each other. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy joins us live right now in Germantown, where that group was last seen. Dan.
Yeah, this group has been terrorizing parts of the city all throughout the night. Now there's a desperate search to find them, believed to be in a silver Nissan SUV, apparently robbing people and ultimately shooting 2 of them indiscriminately. These are innocent people we're talking about, and this could have happened to any one of us. This victim was pulled up to this intersection in Germantown, 2nd Avenue North and Madison Street, when he was the victim of a bump and run. All right, so essentially what that means, a bump and rob, essentially what that means is that the suspects intentionally crashed their car into his with the intention of getting him to come out of his car to inspect the damage. That's exactly what happened. As he stepped out, those suspects robbed him and ultimately shot him. I talked with one eyewitness who was right on the scene immediately, driving a concrete truck as he does every morning. He says the victim was honking his horn at him to get his attention, and when he stepped out of his car to help, that's when he heard the shots. But again, he was acting as a first responder and was able to help until police got there.
I had another fellow driver here that had stopped because he thought me and him got in a car accident. So he was just stopping to make sure everybody was all right. He didn't realize that somebody had been shot. And so he pulled his shirt off, and we was holding it on the wound until the police arrived, and they took over the scene.
All right, so that's Kyle Phillips. He and another man who were here at the scene helped make that makeshift tourniquet and wrap it around the victim's arm, potentially saving his life. He was later transported to Vanderbilt, I'm told, with serious injuries, but at last check, is expected to survive. Again, this was just one of 4 incidents overnight. It's the last one we know about, and this intersection in Germantown is still closed as police investigate. Reporting live downtown, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Now, police believe that same group of men also shot another person who was just waiting in a parking lot to get a ride from a friend. And News Channel 5's Blake Rosnowski is live right now off Elm Hill Pike. Blake, where you're standing is the 3rd crime spree, or the scene rather, in this big spree.
Yeah, exactly, Adam. So this is the 3rd incident, but it was the first incident where somebody was shot before they headed over to where Dan Kennedy is and shot that other person in Germantown. And it happened right here. We've got the scene clear at this point, but right where you see that light pole is where we had officers earlier this morning taking photos. Crime scene tape was up. As I said, they have since cleared, but that was around 3 a.m. here at the Terrace Park townhomes off of Elm Hill Pike. They say that, again, that male victim just waiting for a ride from somebody, and then 3 men armed with handguns approached him, told him to get on the ground, and that victim complied. They patted him down, took some of his belongings, and then they actually walked away from the scene and started talking to each other. And that's when, just an awful situation, those people walked back, at least one of them, and shot that man in the leg. Now, again, though, this was the 3rd incident, the first happening back around 2:30 in the morning on Glastonbury Road. That is when a female victim was robbed. She was not shot, but also described that there were 3 men involved in that situation, as well as that same silver Nissan SUV. The second happening on the south side of town at a Days Inn on Murfreesboro Road. A male victim also robbed but not shot, and also describing 2 men similarly with similar descriptions, but they took off on foot in that situation. Police thinking all 4 of these crimes related and are looking for that silver Nissan SUV with those 4 people involved in it. Live in Donelson, Blake Rosnowski, News Channel 5.